St. John's Gospel, chapter 7. Jesus goes to the Tabernacles festival, verses 1 to 13. Later on, Jesus was traveling around Galilee, for he did not want to go up to Judea because the Jews were seeking to kill him. Now the Jewish festival of Tabernacles was approaching. His brothers said to him, "You should leave here and go up to Judea, so that your followers can see the miracles that you're doing. Nobody can attract attention if they work in secret. Show yourself to the world." For not even his brothers had faith in him. Jesus says to them, "It's not my time right now, but you can always seize the opportunity. The world cannot hate you, but it hates me because I expose its wicked ways. Go on, you go up to the festival. I'm not going to this one because it's not the right time for me." So he stayed behind in Galilee. When, however, his brothers had gone up to the festival, he himself went after all, but privately, not publicly. Now the Jews were searching for him at the festival and asking, "Where is he?" Among the crowd there was plenty of gossip about him. Some said, "He's a decent fellow," but others said, "No, he's leading people astray." However, nobody actually spoke about him openly for fear of the Jews. Jesus teaches in the temple, verses 14 to 24. It was halfway through the festival when Jesus went up to the temple and began to teach. The Jews were astonished. "He's had no education," they said. "So where did he get all this knowledge?" Jesus replied, "These aren't my own ideas. They come from the one who sent me. If anyone wants to do God's will, he'll know whether my teaching is mine or God's. Whoever speaks on his own authority seeks his own glory. But whoever seeks the honor of the one who sent him is truthful and upright. Wasn't it Moses who gave you the law? And yet none of you keep it. Tell me, why do you want to kill me?" The crowd answered, "You've a demon. Who's trying to kill you?" Jesus said, "I performed a single miracle, and you're all astonished. Moses gave you circumcision, although of course it doesn't come from Moses, but from the fathers, and so you circumcise a man on the Sabbath. If a man is circumcised on the Sabbath, so that the law of Moses be not broken, why are you angry with me because I healed a man on the Sabbath? Judge justly, not by outward appearances." Who is Jesus? Verses 25 to 31. Then some of those who lived in Jerusalem began to say, "This is the man they're trying to kill, isn't it? He speaks frankly, yet they say nothing to him. Could it be that the authorities know he's the Christ? But we know where this man comes from, whereas whenever the Messiah appears, no one will know his origins." Jesus cried out while teaching in the temple, "You know me, and you know where I've come from, do you? I've not come on my own authority, but he who sent me is true, and you don't know him. But I know him, because I've come from him, and it's he who sent me." On account of this, they were bent on seizing him, but nobody laid so much as a finger on him, for his time had not yet come. Nevertheless, many in the crowd had faith in him, and they were saying among themselves, when the Christ comes, surely he won't do more miracles than this man, will he? The Pharisees attempt to arrest Jesus, verses 32 to 53. When the Pharisees heard the crowd arguing about him, they linked up with the chief priests and dispatched guards to arrest him. Jesus then said to them, I'm only with you for a short time, and then I go to the one who sent me. You look in vain for me because where I'm going, you cannot come. The Jews said to each other, where will he go that we won't be able to find him? Does he have it in mind to go to our people dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Greeks as well? Whatever did he mean when he said, you'll search for me but not find me, and where I am you cannot come? Now, on the last and most important day of the feast, Jesus stood up and cried out, if anyone's thirsty, let him come to me and drink. Whoever has faith in me, as Scripture says, from within him rivers of living water will flow. This was a reference to the Spirit that those who had faith in him were to receive, although not immediately, for Jesus had not yet been exalted. When the crowds heard what he said, they began to ask, surely this is the prophet, isn't it? Others were saying, he's the Christ. But others made the point, but the Christ won't come out of Galilee, will he? Doesn't the Scripture say that Christ descends from David and comes from Bethlehem, David's hometown? So there arose a disagreement in the crowd because of Jesus. Some of them were eager to arrest him, but no one dared lay a finger on him. Eventually, the guard reported back to the chief priests and Pharisees, who asked them, why haven't you arrested him? They replied, nobody ever spoke like him. The Pharisees retorted, don't tell us he's deceived you as well. Have any of the rulers or the Pharisees put their faith in him? No way. But this crowd are in ignorance of the law and so are cursed. Nicodemus, one of the number who'd previously visited Jesus, butted in. Just a minute. Does our law condemn a man without first hearing what he's to say in his defense? Are you a Galilean too? They asked. Check it out. No prophet hails from Galilee. Then they all went home. That concludes my reading of my translation of St. John's Gospel, which I'm holding up. It's published by Matador. You can get it on Amazon or you can get it on Kindle. All profits, of course, are donated to Christian charities.